Hello everyone. This video here is going to walk you through the steps of the first time that you go to log on to your OneScreen board. There's going to be some extra setup that you have to do the very first time that you won't have to do subsequent times. So there'll be some extra work involved this first time, but once we've done that on the board in your room, then you're going to be good to go from then on out. There's a few different ways to log into these things. The easiest way, and the way that you're probably going to do it the vast majority of the time, is by just scanning a badge with this little NFC reader down here on the board. What we're probably going to do, most of you will have, is we're going to give you at the training or after the training is one of these little NFC stickers. So this has a little itty bitty computer chip on it that it can read your account information off of. And what we are recommending is that you just put that on the back of your school ID badge. So here's my school ID, and I just have my NFC sticker on the back there. And you probably keep this in a little sleeve or whatever, so that's probably safe anyways. If this gets damaged, it's not the end of the world. We have more. We can get you a new NFC sticker. So before we actually badge in with that, just so you know, there are other ways to sign in. If you forget your badge or something like that, you can click the Google thing and you will get a QR code. You could scan that with your phone and then sign in with your Google account on your phone, and that will detect that and it will log you in over here. You can also just type in your email and your password. This is a little goofy though. This is not your Google password necessarily, unless you made it the same. This is the password that we changed back when we activated our accounts from that email we got. So just kind of be aware of that. And this isn't ideal because if you're typing on the on-screen keyboard, people can see what you're typing. So ideally you'll sign in with the badge, or if you had to, you could sign on with Google here if you forgot your badge or misplaced it or something. To sign in with the badge, all you need to do is hold wherever your NFC sticker is close to this reader right here. There's not a lot of range. You pretty much need to go and touch it, so just go and hold it there for a little bit. If your sound is on your board, you'll hear a beep. If the sound isn't on, you won't. The very first time you sign in, you're going to get a code sent to your email that you'll have to go grab. You have 60 seconds to do that. As you're getting signed in, please be patient. Sometimes right away when things come up, people start trying to click things right away. It has to do a lot of little things in the background the first time you sign in. It's opening things, like just kind of let it sit for a little bit, make sure everything's happy before we move on. Obviously you have to accept this. Once you've done that, it's going to load a little kind of just welcome tutorial. Give it a little bit of time. This here, you don't have to do anything on this particular screen. This is just showing that your Google Drive is in fact bound to your account. We did that back when we set up our accounts on the computer. So that should show that. This cloud storage one, you don't have to worry about. That does not need to be bound. We do want to leave this checkbox on that says automatic backup to your cloud drive. So leave that checked. We're going to hit next. We could skip this tutorial, but we want to get through it because there's one thing at the very end that we want to make sure we turn on. Here you can customize what's going to show up on your desktop, but we can do that very easily later. So I'm just going to hit next. This is just a little demo that shows you how to use widgets, but we'll go over that later. And this just shows that you have a card, a beacon card they call them, but that's just your NFC sticker bound to your account. And then you can pick one of these 3 wallpapers as you so desire. This is the part we want to make sure we say yes to. So it's going to ask, do you want to auto-synchronize your account? And you do. What that's going to do is if you customize things like where your icons are on your desktop, different widgets, things that you change on your profile, that will then follow you if you go to another classroom to maybe substitute in another room, or you're helping cover for another teacher or whatever it might be. So you want to make sure you say yes here. Once you do that, again, give it a little bit of time, be patient. It's doing some things in the background. If you start getting click happy right away, that tends to just create extra problems. So just be a little patient, give it a little time so everything looks like it's happy now. The first thing we want to make sure we do, and this is a little counterintuitive because we've already set up our Google account to be connected with a OneScreen account on our computers previously, and now we just signed in with that. However, due to the way Google security works, every time you sign on to a new device, you have to authenticate with Google to give them credentials for that specific device. So we need to go up here next to the sign out and click our profile icon. And there's a OneScreen user with your name there, and then the Google one just says login because we haven't officially logged into Google on this board yet. You're not going to have to do this every time. This is a one-time thing, so we're going to go hit login. And we're just going to sign in to our ISD31 account. When you click in a field that you can type in, there's a couple ways to write in there. You can pick up a pen and draw. I prefer not to do that myself. If the keyboard doesn't automatically pop up, you'll get this button over here. So there's a keyboard. Most of the time it defaults to this big wide keyboard. I personally find this a little unwieldy to use. There's different keyboards you can use. So maybe you can click this one. That's, I believe, a split keyboard. That doesn't make much sense on a big screen like this. On a phone that makes more sense. But this one here is a pop-out keyboard. So then you get a keyboard that you can move around and put wherever. So that's the one I prefer. So again, you're just going to sign in here. So our account is OneScreen_training. You're just going to use your own email here, of course. And again, this is a one-time thing. You're not going to have to do this every single time you come on your board. Enter your password. You presumably will have 2FA set up on your device, so you're going to have to do that. So hit continue. Most of you probably have text messages set up. Whatever your 2FA method is, you can get that entered. I agree. Okay, now that we've done that, and you can just confirm by clicking your profile up here again, you should now be logged in to both the OneScreen account and your Google account on this board. So what that means is things like Google Drive and all those things will just automatically be able to show your files. Before we end this particular video, there's a couple other little things we want to do. We want to open up Chrome. And just like on a computer, it will say, do you want to actually use this account as a profile? And we do, so we're going to continue as, in my case, OneScreen training. That will be you. I'm going to say yes, continue. I would recommend saying yes to this. This is basically just asking, do you want to sync all of your bookmarks, all those things? You probably do. We'll click past this. So now our Chrome account is officially linked to our actual school account. So that's all we need to do there. The last thing we're going to do before we move on to the next video, where we actually learn how to use some applications, is just clean up the desktop environment. We do want you to follow this guidance and just remove the things I'm going to show here so that all of our boards kind of have the same starting point. We have reasons we want you to remove these things, so if you can just trust us on this. But so this Google Workspace one, if you tap and hold on that, you can bring it up to here to remove it. We want the same thing with this browser one. And then if you have any apps currently on the desktop, we can do the same thing and just clear those out. We'll put ones on here that you're actually going to use in the future. This one key operation, if you want to leave that one's probably a good idea. It does have some useful features. I'm going to put it down in the lower right just to get it out of my way. It has a quick access for shortcut and also switching between different inputs if you're connecting a computer or anything else to the board. This Google search bar, up to you if you think you're going to find that useful. Personally, I would just open up Chrome if I needed to search, so I'm going to get rid of that. And then the clock, if you decide you want that or not, you can either remove it or you can leave it. If you leave it, you can even make it a little bigger if you want. Whatever is convenient for you, you can decide what you want to do. I'm going to leave it for now. So at the most, we'd like you to just start off with the one key operation and the clock if you want the clock, and maybe the Google search bar. Those other ones, please remove them. They have some quirks that don't always work properly, and so we're going to show you better ways to get into those things. So that's all for this video. After you follow this video, you should be all set up with like the one-time things that you have to do, and from here we'll go on and actually learn how to use the features of the board in the next video. Thanks.